Thank you everybody for checking out another video for KO Cards. We got a special guest on the channel. It's my boy Dylan from Eau Claire, getting first place with security control. Super happy for him. Dylan, why don't you jump into the deck and tell us about some of your choices?
Well, thanks for having me. So I played Security Control and won a store championship. We're gonna break it down. First, we're gonna start with my eggs, which were just a simple 4 Viximon. I picked Viximon over Ubamon because in my deck I run 20 options, and so just having it out there, getting a guaranteed draw, really is just more beneficial to me, I feel like, because I'm not always swinging in with Salamon and having 3 or less security, so I just figured I'd try out the Viximons, and really, I haven't been disappointed with them yet. So after that, we play 4 Salamons, which is just a staple in security control. Digivolve for 0. On deletion, if I have 3 or fewer security cards, I get to recover 1, and I'm never bringing it out of raising unless I can almost guarantee that I can recover off of it getting deleted. Whether it be swinging into a tap or suspended Digimon my opponent has, swinging into a higher security, or possibly just deleting it by my own methods. It's just stable, good, 10 out of 10 would recommend. After Salamon, we play 2 Angelomons. Now, this one is a play cost of 6 for a 6k. On play, I get to give one of my opponent's Digimon negative security 2 until the end of their turn. And this has just been a huge help in this deck because sometimes you're swinging or playing against decks that do multiple checks or have high security attack, like Weregarurumon X, Shoutmon, Crossheart, War Greymon, just tons of decks that like to do multiple checks in one turn. And this just kind of gives them a turn where they really can't swing with their one big hitter, and sometimes it just buys me up the turn I need. But another big thing about that is it's inherited. While I have a purple Digimon in play, it gives the card on top of it an additional security check. So if I have Junamon, Venusmon on top, I just get to have another check as long as I have another purple out, which a lot of the time I get that. And a lot of people forget about this inherited, so I just get to sneak in an extra check, and that could just change the tide of the game right there. After that, we play standard issue 4 Magna Angemon. Just another solid card to play. 7 cost, you get a body, plus you get to recover 1. The inherited doesn't come up as much as I would like, but it's still nice to have a little bit of a bump to try and clear some Digimon on the field or possibly security.
It's a hot alt art too.
After that, thank you. Uh, After that, we play 2 Ophanimon Fall Down modes. I'm growing more and more fond of this card. So when digivolving, if it has a yellow level 5 beneath it, I do get to recover. And because all of my level 5s are yellow, I'm always just guaranteed to recover when I'm digivolving off of it. Plus, its on deletion effect of I may play a purple or yellow level 4 or lower from my trash. It's just nice because it's always just going to get a Salamon. So if I ever need to just get another recover on the board, that's a nice key piece to have.
Heck yeah.
After her, we play 2 Venusmons. Venusmon came out of BT10, and I've been excited to play with it since I've seen it. Just because when it digivolves, I give everything in my opponent's negative security 1 until the end of their turn. That includes coming out of raising, playing it with Rush or Blitz, anything. Just a solid turn. And typically, this will buy me a turn. But the biggest upside of it is on my opponent's turn, while my opponent's Digimon have security attack, whether it be minus or plus, they can't attack Venusmon, and they don't activate the when attacking and when digivolving effects. So that just shuts down a lot of decks that rely on their digivolving and when attacking. And it's just been a real solid card for me. Haven't been disappointed by it yet. saved me a couple matches where my opponents tried to swing in, and I'm like, well, you have security -1, so you ain't doing anything.
That was me. I've done that.
Yeah, that was you, wasn't it?
It sure was.
So after those, we play 2 Avenged Kidmon. I see a few lists straying away from Avenged Kidmon. I personally would like to have it rather than not, in case I'm playing a mirror match where I just need to not deck myself before my opponent does. Plus, just being able to play it for free, having an 11k on the field for 0, and possibly popping one of my opponent's Digimons is just real nice. It's really good against security controls. It's good against uh, Beal Stars, Minerva decks, in case you want them to get their options back in the deck and not be accessible from the grave. So that one, I'm just not. I'm always up for that one.
Yeah, it's a solid
After
pick.
that, yeah, absolutely, just solid deck. After that, we play 1 Junamon. Uh, we play Junamon because it has the retaliation, which a lot of people do forget about. But the bigger thing is the when Digivolving, I get to trash 3 cards from my deck, and then I return a Digimon from my grave to the hand. Now, I'll typically save this for when some key piece is in the bin, like, say, a Death X or a Magna or some other just kind of answer in the bin. And it's came in really handy. The retaliation has been nice also, because I've just had people swing into it just to get rid of it and forget it has retaliation. So that's been a pretty good change. And after that, we play 3 Death X. Death X just slides into any deck really at this point because so many people are trying to play Tamers and Digimon. It's great against Crossart, Bloom Lord, and everything else that's just relatively low to the ground. And this just answers all of it all day. Ugh,
That's
excuse
fair.
me. And then my favorite part of this deck so far is going to be the 2 of Kaiser Leomons. So this is a hybrid that digivolves off of a level 3 purple for a cost of 2. Now, that is just fun for me because there have been so many games, probably at least 3, 4, maybe even 5 games, where I've just been able to double Kaiser Leomon and win. Because people don't expect.
That's so great. Just double hybrid for a game. I don't know how many times I heard you talk about how you did that to somebody in the last couple of events we've been at.
It's been a solid card. I've really loved it. I also just love hybrids in general, so like I'll use any excuse I can to play it.
Hell yes. Hell yes.
So initially these started off as Loemons because I just saw a list running them and I was like, oh yeah, I'll just copy it. But then my buddy playtested my exact list and he's like, I say run the Kaiser Leomons. And I was like, well, what makes you think that? And then he went off to explain that if I have a Kaiser Leomon out, of course I can just digivolve into another Kaiser Leomon for 1. But the best part about that is when it's digivolving with a hybrid in its traits, it gets retaliation for the turn, which can also be pretty handy in case you need to swing into something big and just get it off the field. So I'm really happy he played that deck. He found that and was just like, yeah, you should be doing that. And so now I am.
Checks out. Extra spot removal never hurt.
Yeah, right. So that's it for Digimon. Then we'll move on to options. For options, I'm pretty stuck, as in most security control lists. We start off with 4 Chaos Degradations. Always just a solid card, in my opinion, because with so many decks having built in protection from bouncing or deleting or DP reduction, Chaos Degradation doesn't care about any of that. It just simply takes your card, puts it to the top or bottom of your security, and you trash all the sources. So I've had this come up plenty of times against Crossart, where I just got to Chaos Degradation their Shoutmon ×5, and they don't get to save because it was never deleted, and it just feels amazing.
You're such a good pilot, dog.
Yeah.
You know these key interactions that so many people wouldn't even think to look at and be like, "Oh, security control's dead. I'm not playing it. It's not good against Crossheart." Like, yeah, it is. Regi cards. Love that about
I've
you, son.
played, oh man, I've played like 5 or 6 games against Crossheart in store championships, and I've never lost the match. Like, all I need to do is really hit this or another answer we'll talk about later, and I'm just chilling. I have not a care in the world. So after the chaos degradations, we play a pretty standard 4 holy waves. Because who doesn't love just seeing holy wave in the security stack? You hit a holy wave, I get to recover. It's like it never happened.
It's gonna be another holy wave. I know it.
Always the holy waves, man. After that, we play 4 Flame Hell Scythe, which is just another super solid piece of removal for anything low to the ground, like the Psych Mons, the Solar Mons, anything blocking my Death X from being cheaper. So I get to give them -6k, delete them, and I also get to bring back a Digimon from the grave with 6k or less, which is always just going to be Salamon, Angemon, Angewomon, or the Kaiser Leomon. Of course, having the Angemon and the Angewomon are the best because on play effects are just great off those two. I love hitting a Flame Hell Scythe and bringing back a Magna Angemon. It just feels great.
It so does. It feels amazing.
And then after that is another card from BT10 that I was hesitant on, but I just love it right now. It's the good old Lone Key Aristotle. So it's an 8 cost option. If I have 3 or more security, I get to give something -12k for the turn. And if I have 3 or less security, I get to put it on the top of my opponent's security stack. Now, the sweet spot is, of course, if you have 3, you get to do both effects. So I can possibly nuke a card and tuck a card on top of your security. But a cool interaction I did learn was if I have exactly 3, I get to do both effects. And so if you have a Shoutmon swinging at me, I hit that, I get both effects. I get to give it -12k, which would normally just delete it. But all of the effects have to resolve off of the card before it's considered deleted. So I would give it -12k, but I would also get to put it on top of your security before it gets deleted. And just like chaos degradation, that's not going to delete it. It's just going to trash all of your sources underneath. So it's going to be really tough to do it again.
Oh my lord. And a full
And I've
four at full four. That card. That's nuts. That's more removal than I could ever try to deal with.
I've built this to be a little bit more of the defensive route in case I stumble and don't have a lot of security. I'm just hoping to have a lot of answers in my security.
This looks like a lot of answers, dog.
Yeah. Well, after that, we just play the one of reinforcing memory boost. Of course, we wish it was 4, but with the restrictions, we can only play the one, which still good. I get to pick. I look at my top 2. One goes to my hand. One goes to the security. So it's kind of nice if I get a good card on top of my security, and my opponent's like, "Man, I really don't want to swing into that." I'm like, what are you gonna do?
Reinforce.
Uh, yeah. After that, we play the single one of Calling from Darkness. This card has been really doing it well for me lately. I can use it if I have no Digimon, of course, but a lot of the times I try and use it when I have a Salamon and I need to recover. So hitting that sweet spot of 3 security, play Calling, sacrifice a Salamon to recover to get back to purple Digimon, which in this deck is really probably just going to be Death X or my Kaiser Leomons because if I need the Ophanimon or the Junomon to get back or recover, I'll do that. But in my experience, most of the time it's just Death X and Kaiser because those will typically seal the game up for me. Like Store Championship, I was at last time. I call in from Darkness, got back to Kaiser Leomons, and still had enough memory to double hybrid for game.
That's so
And,
dirty,
and it
bro.
was solid.
Hell
It was,
yes.
but nobody expects the hybrids, and I love that. And then my last option are two Schwarzlurts. They are 6 cost option for every Tamer or hybrid I have in play. I get to delete one of my opponent's level 5 or lower. So if you hit this in security, I have 2, 3, 4 Tamers out. That's going to clear a lot of the board that is more low to the ground, like uh, Crossheart, Bloom Lord,
Bloomlord
Blue
who?
Flare.
That deck's gonna poop on Bloomlord, bro.
Yep, I haven't got to play against that match as much as I'd like, but I think I like my odds.
I like your odds.
So with that, that's my options, and I have 20 options total. Only one of them is less than 2 costs, so all of these options I just get to draw off of Viximon, which is another reason I was just like, I just need to play Viximon.
Viximon for days, baby.
Right. So those are the options, which brings us to my Tamers. So for me, I play 2 TKs because a good old TK, search my security, see if it's looking good, could be better, what I kind of need to know I'm going to hit and have some answers to is just good. Plus a resetter is just always nice. Those are my only resetters in this deck.
Interesting.
After, yeah, after that, we play 2 Mimis, which is a 2 cost, and whenever a player uses an option card, I get to suspend her to gain a memory. They used to be a full 4 of, but I needed to make room for Junimon and Calling from Darkness, so I just cut my 4 to 2. And I haven't regretted that decision. There's probably been some matchups where, yeah, maybe I should have had 4, but really, I'm still very happy with just having 2 right now.
That seems fair.
And then, last but not least, is 4 Kari Kamiyas. Now, this 3 cost Tamer. Whenever a card is removed from my security stack, I may suspend her to gain a memory. So if you swing at me and I have 2, 3 outs, depending on how low you are, you might just get that one swing and it goes back to my turn. And it's just been really helpful because a lot of people do forget that sometimes she's out there. So they're just like, oh, yeah, I can just keep swinging. No, you get one swing back to my turn.
See,
And it ruins a lot of people's days.
yo, you'd be like, oh, see, wasn't that fun? Wasn't that fun checking one security? No, you're
Mm-hmm.
bored.
Yep. So I'm pretty happy with the changes I have right now. I think if anything, I might try and play a purple mat, the level 4 one that resets me, just because I'm worried about Black or Greymon popping some Tamers with the, especially with your build where you have the Mega Dramon.
That's fair. That is fair.
But
Purple Matt can get fetch the one of Calling from Darkness back, especially now
yep,
that that's get
can get
limited.
me some calling, can get me my Death X back, can just get me a
Chaos
pretty
degradation,
good.
any of it, any of the cool stuff.
Yeah, but yeah, that is my security control list. I've been playing it for a few months now. I've been playing security control itself since like BT5, and honestly, I just love it. Just a lot of fun for me. Maybe not everybody else, but for me, I enjoy it.
Oh, you gotta play games so you can enjoy them. All right, homie.
Right.
Well, thank you so much for showing us your list. I appreciate it. If you want to give out any shout outs, and we're going to nationals, so looking forward to
Yeah,
that.
we are. I'm excited for that. I guess I'll give a shout out to you for having me. I appreciate that, and all you've done. Been solid. Been real cool.
Happy to, bro. Happy to. But about them jerseys though, they're on the way. They are on the way. It's in the works.
Hell yeah. I like hearing that. I can't wait to rep those in California.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I appreciate having you, dog.
No problem, man. Thank you.
All right. Peace.